Hey, y'all, it's Tuesday night and it's just after 7 o'clock. I'm sorry we're a little bit late, but we were just catching up kind of behind the scenes here a little bit and making sure everything worked. But just cracked my very fresh and amazing Coors Original. And I am wearing my Rusty Nova shirt today. That is Wayne Baker's Rusty Nova shirt. And if you look really, 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 really close, because where it says 4-time Hot Rod Drag Week A-Gas champ, Finnegan's in there just behind Mr. Wayne Baker. So you can get this shirt. He's out of Sturgis, and I'm in South Dakota now too. So check out his Facebook page. You can get yourself your own Rusty Nova shirt. The back is exactly this, just larger. So you can see Mike Finnegan making a cameo in the 4-time Hot Rod Drag Week A-Gas champ Rusty Nova shirt that I'm wearing tonight for my amazing guest, Mr. Mike Finnegan. Tonight is going to be absolutely awesome. Thank you guys so much for holding on behind the scenes for us kind of catching up and whatnot. He also just shared this on like his social media pages as well. So for those of you that are new to this, we do this live. You can watch this after the fact on my YouTube, and then eventually I'll put this on a podcast outlet as well. All your normal podcast places will get this as well. It'll kind of happen in chunks. So share this around. You guys can do a bunch of asking questions and doing a bunch of comments, like Mr. Derek Putnam, who says he hopes he has the party pulley on because this is going to be an awesome episode, and it is. And we were just talking about Mr. Dino Cardella. I was telling Mr. Finnegan that we only had one person pass out on this show, and it was Mr. Dino Cardella, who drives the Hot Carl Ventura. I don't know what that means. That said, guys, tonight's going to be absolutely awesome. Man, episode 74, what can I say? The guy from Roadkill, from all kinds of cool background stuff. You know him for his Blasphemi car that he's done all sorts of drag and drive stuff with. He was actually on Race Week with the Rubber Duck car as well. And they were like 900, like 902 or something. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they just ran out of gas at the top of the racetrack. But we're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff, like how about a lowrider G-body and cool kind of backgrounds in Finn's world. I know he's got a lot of like mini truck background stuff. So we're going to check it out. It's going to be sweet. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have so much to get to. So let's get it rocking and rolling, y'all. Without further ado, the terrible music, 30-second countdown.
That music is very soothing.
It really it's the calm before the storm. You know, it's good. It's good for you, and as is a Coors Original. What are you sipping on tonight, my good man?
Yingling Light right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Dino says that shop music. Every music is shop music for Dino. Again, are the only person that's ever passed out on a That's Cool drink.
Well, do you know he actually passed out? Because what he did, because you texted me this, describes my go-to move at every house party I ever have here is to just pull the Great Escape and just don't tell anybody. Yeah, just gone. Yeah, like
and it was like his co-pilot was on, and we were talking, and then his wife just walked in, and it's like, hey, you guys are done. Like, oh, Gary's on there. Hey, all right. Yeah. I saw him over here with his pants pulled down, passed out next to the trailer. I got him inside, and you guys are done for the night. So
yeah, I legit leave my wife hanging every time we entertain at our house. Like I'll just, after a few hours, I'm gone. I'm not even saying goodnight. I'm out of here. Attaboy.
For folks that don't know, give like the quick 30-second resume for you, who you are, where you come from, what's your deal.
Okay. My name is Mike Finnegan. I grew up in Southern California, currently reside in Georgia, probably never leaving because I love it here.
Right.
I got a wife, 2 kids. I like cars and trucks and boats and motorcycles and snowboarding,
Oh,
skateboarding, and just everything. I just like stuff.
hell yeah.
And mediocre at all of it, mastered none of it. Yeah, that's it, really. I used to do a TV show called Roadkill.
Oh yeah. You might know you guys might know that show.
I did that for 13 years. That just ended, and now I am a full-time YouTuber, which is the best job ever.
I'm an announcer.
I heard that about you,
which I can't believe people pay me to do. And this show will be my first monetized YouTube.
Ooh,
and for you, brother, 1 million. 1 million YouTube subscribers for you.
It's wild. It took 9 years. Finally got there.
Yeah. And you got a little bit of a head start on a few of these folks. You sort of bailed from the, the motor trend world and kind of started dabbling in the YouTube world and
9 years ago.
Yeah, dude. But
yeah, the same week Motor Trend made the silly decision to pull its biggest show off of YouTube and put it behind a paywall. I was like, oh, that's not good. So let me just start my own YouTube channel here.
Right.
And that's been my fallback plan for 9 years now.
It's pretty much always grown, right? Have you been through some growing pains with that though?
Well, like I said, I'm mediocre at all of this stuff. It blew up. It blew up immediately. Like it picked up a couple 100,000 people immediately once the news Roadkill was off YouTube. But I was juggling newborn baby. I was juggling. We're still doing Roadkill.
Right.
And I was doing all this stuff, and the YouTube thing, I didn't know what I was doing with that. So I didn't have good audio, no microphones. Like the early episodes, people were literally in the comment section going, "We want to like this. We like you. But if you don't fix your audio, we're out." And
right.
And I was like, I don't even have time to learn what good audio is or figure it out or anything. And I did not. I should have put more effort into it in the beginning because I didn't. And I literally drove people away. Unintentionally, and then
especially from a guy who did do some shows, like you saw audio guys, like you saw good audio equipment, you saw it kind of work, and then
paid zero attention to that.
I guess, yeah.
Like I was so consumed with like jumping the cars or working on the cars or whatever that I mean, I got to be honest, none of this was ever a goal of mine,
right?
And so in the beginning, I wasn't paying attention to how a TV show got made. And so my YouTube show, it just kept getting worse because then they launched another TV show called Faster with Finnegan. And then I launched a t-shirt company and suddenly I had 4 jobs. And YouTube thing, I always knew this is ultimately what you're going to end up doing for a career because at any moment, Roadkill is going to end because it wasn't ours. So it was difficult, but I just kept firing up content to YouTube and it did get better. Eventually I bought microphones and finally hired an actual editor because I suck at it.
I'm the worst. And that's why I do these live. Because
I love
a whole bunch of editing. I just throw this up. It is what it is. Hopefully it's great.
Yeah, you get fired, whatever,
It's all good. And in fact, last week I had so we're in South Dakota. We just got running water. So you can feel how our internet's like up here. It's bicycle powered internet. So I have updated all sorts of crazy stuff around here to try to make this a better show. But screw you. I'm not sitting here and editing videos for hours and hours and hours. And all I can do is the star wipe. I suck.
Well, it takes time. It
does.
You got to be passionate about that. And I became passionate about the YouTube channel because it became fun. And I knew like one day, Roadkill's not ours. One day they're just going to pull the rug out from underneath us. Yeah. And so that's why, every Sunday I got something with very few exceptions where I just didn't, And so when it finally happened, like I had an idea the show was going to end about 6 months before it ended. They weren't telling us, but there were just things happening.
Yeah,
Where you're like,
people get in the know, and right,
yeah, they
right,
were just
and like, hey, I know you have a family, and
yeah.
hey, start planning.
So that never happened. Nobody ever came right out and said it's going to end.
Oh, okay.
No, never once until it finally happened. But what happened was, we're a very unique show. We were the only show that filmed 12 months out of the year. Every month there was a new episode. We weren't filmed like a normal TV show where you'd film it in batches and then go dark for 4 months or whatever. That wasn't Roadkill. Roadkill was every month you got a new episode. And so once a year, a lawyer would call and be like, hey, we're gonna exercise the option in your contract for another season. And I'm like, haha, that's funny. We're already filming the next season, whatever you want to call that next season. We're 3 episodes into it before you even made this call. So I knew, and so when that didn't happen this year, I was like, all right. And then I was like, hey, look, it's clear this thing's going to wind down here. Let's film a just huge blowout last episode of the show. I said, let's get every car I've got, every car Freiburger's got, every car Motor Trend's got that's ever been on this show. Put them all at one track. We'll put them under a tent. We'll fix them live in front of people. Let the fans in, and we'll shoot everything out. Right. And they just said no. They were like, no, we're not doing that. And the very last episode we filmed, it was clear we're done. This is it. And they still wouldn't let us say goodbye.
Oh man,
which sucked. That totally sucked to just leave fans hanging. And so like that whole time, I'm like, all right, I've sunk 9 years of my life into this YouTube channel. It's ready. We'll just keep going with it,
And how many subscribers did you have when Roadkill ended?
Well, that was only a few months ago. We had 980,000 or something.
Okay, all right. And you were doing a bunch of content. So I mean,
yeah.
YouTube
literally the week it blew up, when everybody found out Roadkill was over, it was like, here comes 20,000 new people to the channel.
Right. Well, I mean, look at David's stuff. I mean, he went from nothing to crazy overnight. So.
Oh yeah. I never had any doubt that he would do well.
Right. Do you call him David? Do you call him Freiburger? Do you call him boss?
It depends on what we're doing. In the beginning, I did refer to him as my boss because he was.
Right.
And I'd call him Freiburger because a lot of people did. I'd call him David. I'd call him Dave. He's never actually copped to what he wants. And so
right.
I think it just kind of depends on my mood.
I've just heard so many because like Keith Turk calls him David.
Yep.
But Dulcich calls him Freiburger, but Dulcich is known as Dulcich as well. So I mean, people around have their way of saying it. So I just was curious what you call
it. I actually don't know what he prefers. It's interesting. For as many hours as we've spent in a car together over the years, there's a lot about him.
And even a week ago, congratulations on the Ratson, and you guys both have some cool stuff coming out, and you've done some live stuff, but both of your channels are going to have from Wire Care, and who else helped you on that? Holly?
Yeah, David and I did our first road trip together ever on YouTube that wasn't a Motor Trend show.
Right.
And it was filmed by guys who used to work on Roadkill. And so it'll have that same vibe. We just can't use the name, obviously.
Right.
But we went from San Diego, California to Cartersville, Georgia in a 1971 Datsun 240Z that's called the Rotsun. That if you're a fan of the show, you know how utterly unreliable that car is.
That car is it's called the Ratson because it's more rust than metal. For a long time, it had a hasp for a gate that held the door closed. If you is that still a thing? That's still a thing.
Yeah. There's no side windows. There's literally a gate latch holding the passenger side door on.
Right.
You drive, you have like 10 little tiny moon roofs that are rust holes in the roof. Like
perfect.
It's a hunk of crap, but every now and again it goes pretty fast because it's got a turboed V8 in it, and then it breaks something. And it literally, we've always said it never fails to fail because every time we've tried to use this thing, it's just puked its guts out on the highway. But for whatever reasons, the gods smiled on us this week, and we drove it 2,000 miles with no windows and just a 10-gallon fuel cell, and somehow we we only ran out of gas twice. We only blew the charge pipe off the turbo once, and the rear suspension only fell apart a couple of times, and we made it all the way to
how many gas stops you said before?
Was like 28. I was adding up the receipts this week, yesterday actually, and David had pumped gas quite a few times, but I had 22, I think, receipts from that trip, and so we were getting between 13 and 17 miles per gallon in it, and we did about 2,400 miles total. And so I think between getting lost and other things, and I think we stopped for gas over 20 times.
And that's still small block Ford powered currently. When you first started screwing with that, it was V6 stuff.
Yeah, when we bought that car, it had a 4.3 liter V6 out of an S10 and a T5. We broke the crankshaft in half using a Ford Power Stroke diesel turbo.
Perfect.
And once it broke, David was pretty tired of that V6 and how many times it broke on us. And so he bought a Fox body Mustang, and we stole the motor out of that and put a Silver Sport Transmissions install kit to put a T56 behind it.
Hell yeah.
And I tell you what, that is nirvana, because we were on the highway doing allegedly 80, 90, just cruising.
Oh yeah. The 6 gear is just, that's where it's at. I'm a T56 dude. I got 2 of them in 2 of my cars. So
yeah. And this thing makes all the right noises now, like gear changes. You just hear the whoosh of the blow off valve, and it's
awesome.
It's fun.
Especially after spending a week in it with your buddy. And that's got to be a cool experience. And again, the first kind of re-meeting of you two outside of the roadkill stage.
Yeah, we'll have an episode on my channel and his channel. We're going to split the road trip in 2 parts, and it'll be our first thing together on YouTube again. And if enough people like it, hopefully we can get some sponsors together to keep doing it. This one was sponsored by CRC, Holly, and Wirecare, which they were all great. When I called them, they just got it. They were like, "Oh yeah, all right, we want to be involved." And I'm like, "Thank God,"
awesome.
because this stuff is expensive. It was like doing a drag and drive, which is a drag and drive is already expensive. But anybody that does one of those, between the hotels and the food and the gas, if you don't break anything, you're spending thousands of dollars.
Right.
So you do that, but make it cross country with a film crew. YouTube's great, but it doesn't pay that great, So the sponsors really helped,
Well, especially when you're doing, if you look at your sick week stuff that you've done the last 2 years, you've done like full no shit movies of sick week, and I got to hit 12-volt Dave in the junk on on day number 4 or something like that. On that deal. Oh yeah, I do. We watched it like 7 times. My wife was just like, "That was you," and I was like, "That was me." Yeah, it was great. But I mean, that's part of it. Like paying these guys that also lost their jobs on Roadkill, and putting these dudes to work and doing it with help from the racing community is awesome, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was the deal. Is it was like it wasn't just David and I that lost our jobs. That's probably a solid 100 people, I guess, between all the people that worked for Motor Trend on the back end of that deal, in addition to the people that were physically filming and editing the shows. A lot of people lost their jobs. So I was like, how can we just keep this going, and without sponsors, it wouldn't happen at all. With the sponsors, thank God, I think I almost broke even on the sick week thing.
Perfect.
Which I'm like, fine, breaking even is a win in my book. So
totally losing money, bad news. Making money is good. Does your wife still work?
Oh yeah. Oh, full time.
Yeah. So she's so she's paying all the bills, and you're just having fun.
She would love to quit her job, and I'm like, baby, you have the insurance. And a company that you can retire from, because it's the kind of company where most of the people she works with have been there 30 or 40 years. And so she has what I call a real job.
Right.
I literally can watch my paycheck rise and fall minute by minute in the back end of YouTube and its analytics. And so the YouTube thing is way unpredictable.
Right. It's crazy unpredictable. And you just don't know what might stick. Like I had Derek Beery on just a few weeks ago, And that was a lot of it. Like he's, you know, and he's just like, man, some of this stuff that I thought was going to kill just falls off the wall. And some of this stuff I thought that was going to suck makes huge money. It's crazy.
Yeah. The Sick Week movie was a good example of that. Like that's some of the best content I think we've ever made on my channel. And it bombed, literally bombed. Some of those videos got 150,000 views. And when I say bombed, like it's not bad, you know, 150,000 views for anybody. That's great. But, you know, when a channel allegedly has 1 million subscribers, you would think more than 150,000 people would watch one of these episodes. And, you know,
well, and then you look at it in the analytics again, and 150,000 people watched it, and 60,000 of them are not even subscribed to you.
Yeah. And that's the big thing is like, I don't think anyone understands that. Like, you know, this week we hit a milestone, 1 million subscribers. I'm like, it's incredible. But the way YouTube works, YouTube doesn't care how many subscribers you have. YouTube's not even going to tell your subscribers you have a video. Even if you ask your subscribers to hit the little bell thing, they're still not going to tell everybody you have a video. It's a really strange time to be a YouTuber. But, you know, but it's also the best job in the world, you know?
It is, exactly. Like you're still able to do it. Like your wife's not kicking you out and telling you get a real job yet. So, you know, whatever, like, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
what?
Absolutely.
So your family's from Georgia, right? But you grew up in Southern California?
No, we're all from Southern California. We just ended up here over the years.
All right.
About 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I think my brother moved here. Okay. And my folks moved here to be near him. Then we had been visiting, and we just loved it. And so, you know, we went from living in an apartment in California, and I was renting a shop because my apartment didn't even have, you know, place to park a car.
Right.
And the house in Georgia cost the same as the rent on the apartment in SoCal, you know. And
South Dakota, baby. I mean,
yeah, I tell people the same thing all the time. Like, if you could just move the tacos and my friends, I wouldn't have any reason to go back to California.
Right.
You know? It's great, but God, is it expensive.
So take us back to young Mike Finnegan.
Sure.
When are you going to go work for magazines? What's your pre resume? What's, you know, whatever, 21-year-old Finnegan, when you're deciding to get into this, what gets your start into that, and what the hell are you driving at the time?
I was a kid with no plan.
Okay.
I still don't have one, I got to be honest.
That's fine. That's great.
I was just like, this looks fun. That looks fun. You know, if it didn't kill me or put me in jail, I was going to try it. And so I was the kid that, you know, I did really bad in school. The only reason I went to community college was that's what my friends were doing. I thought you were supposed to, so I went. I didn't have any plan for that. And I legit, for a 2-year degree, it took 6 years to get that AA. And the last year I was in school, I was helping my buddy Sean Weber out at his shop sometimes. And he built mini trucks. Okay. We were all in mini trucks in college. And we were at a truck show one day, and I see this dude walking around with a camera. And I realized this is the guy from Mini Truckin' Magazine. This is Courtney Hallowell. And as a avid reader, he's God to me. And I was just like, what are you doing? And he's like, this is my job. I go to truck shows, I take pictures, and I go back to the office and I write about all these cool trucks. And I'm like, they pay you for this? He's like, yes. I'm like, oh, how do I get that job? Right. He was super cool because we corresponded through email, and he told me what courses to take in community college. And I literally, all of a sudden, I had a fire into my ass. And I was like, yep, every photography course, every creative writing course, whatever I can do, I took them all. And then I threw all my crap in an old motorhome and put my truck on a trailer behind me. And I drove from New York, where I was living at the time, back to California, and just coasted into town on fumes with my ex-girlfriend and applied for a job and got it. And
hell yeah.
And it just snowballed from there. And it was the same thing. I never had a plan. If somebody said, I know you're at Mini Truck and would you like to try Off-Road Magazine? It was like, absolutely yes. I want to learn about off-roading. Let's do it.
I love it.
And so I went from mini trucks to Desert Racing Off-Road Magazine to Hot Boat Magazine to Sport Truck Magazine. Finally at Hot Rod, Steve Brule, great friend of mine, tells Freiburger, I'm looking for a job. And yeah, Charles Wickham, he knows the story. I lived in the RV in front of Courtney Howell's house. Steve Brule, who ran West Tech Performance, was talking to Freiburger. Freiburger was looking for someone to work like an entry level job at Hot Rod, and I was like, "Dude, I'm it. Like, whatever it takes." You know, the commute was.
And how old were you when you started into this world, and how old were you when you started working for Hot Rod?
So I was 20. Let's see. I was 25.
Okay.
When I started at mini trucking. I was probably 34 when I got the job at Hot Rod.
Okay. All right.
And Hot Rod was the greatest job ever, especially at that time. Like, you worked at Hot Rod magazine. That was the pinnacle of automotive journalism in terms of custom stuff. Like, if it was a new car review, you went to Motor Trend, or you tried to get that job. Right. But if you wanted to write about custom things, it was Hot Rod. And so, best job ever. Like, I wrote about rototiller racing in Arkansas. Like, I wrote about just drag week, everything. It was so cool. And then that was just another case of never saying no. David was like, you want to go on a road trip? These two dudes that work for the company are going to come film it. And I'm like, yeah, great. I don't care. And I was like, I was just the wrench. Like, I didn't plan on talking. I didn't, it wasn't something I aspired to. Right. I was just like, yep, I'll get greasy. Let's do this. And so we made a couple of YouTube videos that went on the Hot Rod YouTube channel. And a guy at the company named Angus saw them and was like, just pure coincidence. Like, we had done that right around the time YouTube had struck a deal with the company to create original content. And
was this the Sailor Jerry car?
It was that was not our first episode, but it was right about that time.
Okay.
The first episode was us trying to go to Alaska, which we failed. We were so behind building the car. This is the Ranchero. We were building that car while writing magazine stories. And so the car build was happening at night and on weekends. And when it came time to leave to drive to Alaska to get to the ice race, the car wasn't ready. And we just kept working. We left like 3 days late. Ultimately, we're like falling asleep at the wheel somewhere in Utah. We had to stop and sleep, and at that point we realized we're not going to make it all the way to Alaska in time to actually compete in the race, which was our goal. So we just drove to the Grand Canyon, and we were pretty dejected about the whole thing. And we're like, we can't put this out. Nobody's going to want to watch us fail. Right. So we hurry up and fly to Texas and film another episode, which was trying to get home for $1,500 in a Pontiac.
Right, with the throwing the dart at the board kind of thing. Got it.
Yeah, so we aired that, and people liked it. Then we had nothing else, so we're like, well, we have to release this Alaska failure. So they released that, and people loved it, and we were like, nobody cared we failed. All right, well, we'll just do whatever and show them everything, because they clearly they don't mind if you suck at some time.
Right. I mean, it's real life. And how many freeze plugs did you guys lose on that trip?
Oh, dude, I don't know. A lot. Like, it was a dart block. That trip was a wild, just nightmare. Like, somebody at the engine shop had installed the timing pointer in the wrong place on the block. So we were driving with 60 degrees of timing and didn't know it. I don't even know how the car started.
Perfect.
Degrees of timing, but it ran like crap. We're sitting there, we're trying to tune the carburetor, we're trying to do all this stuff. Meanwhile, we're knocking the ring tension out of it. It's bad. And the Dart aftermarket block, one freeze plug fell out. We tried to install these rubber ones, the aftermarket ones, but the water jackets of that thing are so shallow you couldn't get the plug all the way in.
Right.
So they just kept falling out, and I'm siliconing them in Utah, and the silicone won't harden because it's freezing. And it was an epic, memorable trip, and people liked it, and it was wild. Like, we were, for the first 2 years, we were still full-time magazine guys, and then making Roadkill on the weekends. And so I think the reason the show was so cool in the beginning was the circumstances were perfect. We had no money.
Right.
We have no time. This is all we can accomplish, and it pushes you to do things that maybe you don't normally do. Like, we're just not going to sleep, or we're going to sleep in the shop here at work and just finish this, whatever we can do. And so the show, we were, especially Freiburger, we were really strict about, we'll fake nothing. If we run out of gas, we're walking, and it served us well. The show did really good. And, I mean, Jesus, 13 years later, we were still doing.
I mean, that's a long ass run. I mean, there's a lot of sitcoms that don't get 13 years. So yeah, that's awesome. And that I can attest to. I met Pavi Polanen, who was a camera guy. He did some camera work for Motor Trend and stuff. And he was on a couple of Roadkills, and I was singing Roadkill dude's praises because at Race Week they got a bunch of Taco Bell. You guys were working on you had shot the drive shaft out of the rubber duck. Yeah. And they had all gotten a bunch of Taco Bell, and you guys had some extra Taco Bell, and I ate your leftover Taco Bell. But those dudes were like, they were in it for the whole thing. It was the exact same thing. Like, whatever happens, like, we're in it. Like, we're not gonna, unless you're gonna die, we're not gonna help you with this production truck. We're gonna video you guys being stupid. And people loved it. They ate it up. It's awesome.
Well, and especially at those events, like I reported on Drag Week before I ever competed in it, and I was so impressed by the people that were competing at that they became heroes of mine. And so I revere these legends so much that, when it came time when we decided we would film a couple of Drag and Drive episodes, I was like, under no circumstances are we breaking any rules. And I'm like, we're going to be worse than that. We're not even going to let anyone have an opportunity to second guess what we're doing. So I'm like, you guys stay over here.
Totally.
I'm like,
totally.
I remember when we did the one with the rubber duck, we ran out of gas, and I rode a scooter like, I don't know, a mile and a half.
Yeah, like an electric, like.
No, it was a push scooter.
Was it okay? A push scooter. It's not even a powered scooter.
I was like, yo, if somebody sees us out of gas, they're not going to see you guys getting gas for us or handing me a gas can. I will get the gas,
Right.
Because I don't.
That's another big thing with that Garrett says too. He's like, I got millions of eyes watching me. I can't cheat ever. Like, there's no way I can't even make it look like I'm cheating ever.
No, you can't. Like before I got on here, some dude called me on my cell phone, and I'm like, who is this? And some dude from Alabama somehow found my number on the internet and was just like, whatever. It's like, there are that many people out there. You can't, even if you wanted to, you can't cheat. You ain't getting away with it.
No way, dude. You're going to have eyes all over you. It's going to be all over the internet. You're going to be that guy.
Yeah. And I got to sleep at night. So I'm the last dude that cuts a corner on the route or anything. I don't want anyone to think.
Yeah, you don't want to.
It's hard enough to do these things that if you win one, I don't want anyone second guessing how I won this.
No, hell no. And we met for the first time. My co-pilot Brad was a big Roadkill guy, and I got to be honest with you, I didn't watch a lot of Roadkill and stuff early. I didn't watch. I called Vice Grip Garage Zip Tie Garage for 3 days on.
Pretty good name, actually.
On Race Week. Oh yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But this is Brad, who's my co-pilot, and you. Oh, that's on the background. I need it in the front here. Hold on. At Drag Week 2014, you had done a trip in some Roadkill junk to Drag Week. And yeah, dude, Brad was stoked. Dude. Brad was stoked. He was out of his mind, man. He was stoked out of his mind. And then it took you a little bit to compete after that. When was your first competition Drag Week?
2018. No, 2017.
Okay.
I went in 2017, and on the second day, my used cylinder heads dropped a valve in the burnout box at Cordova and trashed the motor. I've actually never left Cordova under power in my car. 3 different times, never left there. Yeah, so we didn't make it past day 2 on 2017. 2018, we finished. I ran my first 8-second pass ever on the last day. And then I realized I was like 0.02 of a second out of first place behind Jared Scott. So I turned up the boost, went again, and money shifted it. I didn't even think I did not even think that was possible with my G-force, but I learned after the fact that we had been adjusting the shifter wrong the whole week.
Oops.
So it was really out of whack by the time day 5 came, and I money shifted it trying to win, and grenaded that motor. So those were the first 2 times. I finished the second one, but the first one did not go well.
And then you started winning.
Yeah, we won in 2019. That was the year I met Pete Harrell. I'd already met Biggin by then, which is how I ended up hooking up with Pete Harrell.
Right.
But yeah,
Biggin's been on this show, by the way. Look at previous episodes and check out Eric Yost on the show.
Yeah, hell of a guy.
Good times.
That whole camp there, like between Harrell Engine and Dyno and Customs by Biggin, like in 2018, when we finished and ran our first 8-second pass, that car was not going to run an 8-second pass. It wouldn't even go straight. But the route for Drag Week went through Biggin's town, and he had a party there. And they're eating the cats.
That's my wife. Her favorite thing ever is Pete Harrell's "They're Eating the Cats."
Oh God, Pete is
on Harrell.
You ever met a Renaissance man like that guy?
That dude's
music, engines, humor. He's got it all. You know,
you name it. He's just a triple threat kind of guy.
Yeah, how he's not married twice over by now. I don't even know how it's possible.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, so when I started to realize that group of dudes in that dirt parking lot really knew what they were doing, was we were there for a party at Biggin's on like day 3 and stayed late drinking, not driving. My co-pilot was sober. He didn't drink at all. Much to the chagrin of my co-pilot who wanted to get on the road, I was like, no, we're going to stay here all night, because when that lift opens up, I'm going to put my car on it and have Biggin look at this thing, because it won't go straight.
Right.
And Biggin crawls under it, scales the car, realigns it. The guys from Pack Racing Springs had their race trailer outside. We took the shocks off. They dynoed them and figured out that a couple of clicks of the knobs on those Vikings didn't do anything. You had to make a lot of turns.
Perfect.
So they dynoed the shocks, reset everything. I went out there and the car went straight and picked up 0.4 of a second. Dude. And went 9 flat. And I was just stunned at the difference some knobs and a tape measure and some strings made on that car. And so when I broke the Hemi again, I was at that point, I had the same dude rebuild it like 3 times. And I was like, I'm tired of funding your PRI booth, bro. This isn't working, you know?
Right.
And so I called Pete, and if I was Pete, I wouldn't have even taken me on as a client, because it's like, you got this dude with a YouTube show and everything seems to be breaking. Like, no good can come of this.
Right. And it's a Hemi, and you can't get parts very easily.
Not a lot of upside to having me hire you.
Having you as a client.
It's really not. Really not. But he did it, and we got the motor from him the night before Drag Week 2019. Or the day before, sorry. Put it in the car, chassis dynoed it, went over to Mooresville Dragway at like 11 o'clock at night, whole shotted it 3 times, enough to get the 2-step working, and then drove 7 hours to the start of Drag Week and just snuck through the gate before tech ended. And then off the trailer, it went 875, and I was holy crap, dude, the car had never gone that fast. And Pete looked at the tune, sent me another one the next morning. It rained, and then the track got dry at around lunchtime, and they said, you only get 1 hit, everybody. And there were people that went under their cage cert. There were people that blew the tires off. My car goes 852 with an 850 cage cert. And I'm just like,
yes.
Load
it up. Let's go.
Oh, dude, if Pete had been there, I would have just rubbed his booty. And
with what?
Whatever was handy. I don't know.
Perfect. Attaboy.
I was in a good mood.
Attaboy.
We ended up winning that whole deal. And it just pure coincidence. the Roadkill people were there filming it, and so like that is legit my favorite episode of Roadkill because it's a good behind the scenes look of what it could be like to finish one of these,
right?
But it doesn't tell you everything. Like the other at that point in Roadkill's history, the crew is they're professionals, they're union. They clock out at a certain time, and it's basically like, well, we'll see you all tomorrow, And so the all night, I think Tony Angelo and we slept. It was something like 19 hours over the course of 5 days. It was brutal,
right?
And a lot of that I don't think really comes through in the episode because the film guys just weren't there for a lot of it,
right?
And that's the only. I think that's really the only thing missing. The other thing that's missing is like nobody saw that like. Tony and I hadn't done a drag and drive together. He showed up on tech day, but all the events leading up to getting there, like we were filming an episode of Faster with Finnegan, then went straight there after spending a week building a car, then had to put the whole car together, then didn't sleep, then go there. Like I was done before it even started.
Right.
And we were just going on adrenaline the whole time. We were just going on adrenaline. So when it was over, like, it was awesome, but it was a relief because it was just like, it was starting to get a little dangerous. I'm like, we're going to crash the car. Like we're
both going to be seriously injured.
Yeah. Well, we had one like at a sick week this year at like, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning. I just was like, we have to stop. The car was 240 degrees for 2 hours straight. I couldn't fix that, but I was starting to weave all over the road, and I was like, I can't stay awake, and homeboy's asleep in the passenger seat. So we pulled over. We checked into a motel that I'm pretty sure the guy thought we were together. We were a couple because we only rented it for an hour.
Wait, you're not?
I mean, just during drag and drives.
Okay, yeah, it's drag and drive curious. It's
when it's convenient, But we rented that a hotel room for an hour, just enough to sleep for 30 minutes, shower. Okay, we're not dying. Get back on the road,
A drag and drive to start a drag and drive. Yeah. So you're basically doing 2 back to back.
Yeah, drag and drives are awesome, but man,
they're awesome.
You're gonna suffer.
right. Exactly.
You're gonna suffer. I just want you to know that.
Absolutely.
I think even if you got an 11-second car, you're probably gonna suffer because you're probably
even a little bit. Even a little bit.
Well, I don't think anyone can truly be prepared for this. There's
no way you can't prepare because whatever you prepare for, Murphy's Law is the other bullshit is going to break and screw you.
Yeah, there's only like 4 people that ever prepared for these, and 3 of them are Brett LaSala.
Right, exactly. And he goes like, I went and interviewed him, and he's like, it's probably going to go, I don't know, 604, 605. It went 605. I'm like, you're like. Good for you, dude. Like, way to go. And of course, that's the end of the race, and it's got 1,000 miles on it, and they had no problems, just whatever.
It's wild. I'm like 180-degree opposite of that, dude. Like, I don't know what it's going to do. And as long as the parts stay on it, there's my bar for success.
Right.
Which is why he came over to me at Sick Week. Because I don't know him. I just know of him, And he came over to me at Sick Week before it started to look at the trailer. Which of course,
which is super cool. You got one of the coolest trailers ever.
Yeah, I didn't build the trailer, but he came over, and I'm like, Brett LaSala likes my trailer.
Hell yeah!
So I got some small part of my racing program is good enough for Brett LaSala.
That's right.
To at least look at.
To come over and hang out for just a second, and then go win everything he touches because he's like King Midas.
Dude, there's not been a lot of guys like that. Like Larry Larson back in the day was like
in the day, yeah. And I mean, he's been doing a lot of the no prep elite or whatever they're calling it these days. Which reminds me, actually, you were kind of cruising around at that and doing videos, interviews with people, and asking them about eating a corn dog. Grown man eating a corn dog in public. Is it acceptable?
Is it acceptable for a grown man?
What do you think?
Well, I think it just depends on your grip and your angle of attack. There's just certain ways that probably aren't as cool.
They always say don't bring your head, the microphone. Bring your microphone to your head.
I've heard people say eat the microphone, but probably not with a corn dog.
I wouldn't do that. But
Like
what's your? I mean, is your answer under
corn on the
certain corn on the cob? So
all
you're
time.
this way.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
A lot of eyes watching at all times. You don't want to eat the microphone when you have a corn dog.
Yeah, I go. I'll do two at the same time, business and first. I don't care. But just don't put any ketchup on that. Just
You're just a mayonnaise kind of guy, huh?
No, just mustard. Mustard only, period. That's it. Mayonnaise kind of. I'm not Canadian. What are you, nuts? Those crazy Canadians and their mayonnaise. Somebody was asking, and I missed the comment. Oh, here it is. Trevor Stanton's daughter, Ray Ann, wants to know, what's your favorite Roadkill car?
Blasphemi.
I mean, that was on Roadkill.
Oh yeah, it was on a lot of episodes of Roadkill. It was built on Roadkill.
Yeah, it was built on Roadkill.
The day we made the motor make noise, we jumped in it and drove from LA to North Carolina.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was 100%. That was never going to be a race car. I just wanted the 2-lane blacktop car,
Right.
I wasn't racing at all back then. In fact, I hadn't drag raced really anything back then at a track. So the fact that car even does drag and drives now is pretty remarkable, because that was never the goal. Like I said, you know who did it? Schroeder and Enns had a 2-lane blacktop 55 Chevy, and when I saw theirs, like they were running 9s at drag week, I was like, ooh, that's cool.
Hell yeah. Like a 9-second, like real deal 2-lane blacktop car. Like
it had a blown big block, I think. Those dudes are legends, and what did it for me was Freiburger and I ran into them somewhere at drag week. I don't remember where, but it was like day 4, and they had eaten a lifter or two, and they were not quitting. And I was like, "You're not quitting?" They're like, "No." And I'm like, "What are you gonna do?" And they had tied the lifters just up off the lobe enough to make sure the oil was going to continue passing with a coat hanger or something wrapped around the top bar, and they were going to run it on 7 cylinders. And I was like, "That's genius. I want to participate in this, whatever this MacGyver shit is."
Yeah, whatever in the hell you're doing, I want in.
Dude, I'm like, that is the most gangster thing I've ever seen. You're going to drive it on 7 cylinders. They had taken the spark plug, and it was still plugged into the wire, and it was tied up where it could still fire. The ignition was still firing, but it just wasn't in the cylinder. And I'm like, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So there, it was really them is who pushed me to try to make Blasphemi function a little better, because it just in the beginning it was like this. It was the gnarliest looking gasser I'd ever seen. It had way too many leaf springs, stiff as hell. It was on pie crust slicks that just lasted forever. You do as many burnouts with you want with those things, but they weren't hooking,
Right.
And so they were the ones that just convinced me to put the effort and the money into this thing to make it work. So it's all their fault, bastards.
Speaking of Blasphemi, driveway garage. What's your favorite thing about Blasphemi?
The stick shift. I love driving it. I love driving. I know it's not the quickest way to do this. Like the smart guy,
stupidest way to do it. It's stupid.
You're wearing his shirt. Smartest guy there. Built a fairly light car with an automatic and wheelie bars. And
again, you can see you're back there.
Yes. So he mailed me one of those, and I didn't know it was coming. He mailed it to me, and I opened it up, and I was dying. I was like, "You son of a bitch! I need to come back and kick your ass now." As soon as I saw it, I was like, "A, you have a sense of humor, which I appreciate, but B, I'm like, this is what we need." Like I text with Jared Scott pretty frequently. I'm trying to get him to come to Sick on the Green. And because I'm like, dude, we need more gassers. Like there aren't enough, and Wayne Baker, Jared Scott, I'm brain farting, the guy that just kicked my ass at Sick Week.
With the last penny car.
Yeah, that car. All those dudes.
Yes, I know who you're. But
yeah, I'm like, how cool would it be for all those dudes to be on the property at one time? Because they all run 850s, 60s, 70s. Like it would be pretty cool, And so I've been texting with Jared I've tried multiple angles. First, I was like, hey, it's only 2 days. Then I tried, hey, I'm bringing my wife and kids. They got a water park and a roller coaster. Bring yours, family thing. I'm trying whatever I can to get him to come out of retirement because his car is on alcohol now and it's a monster.
Jeremy Bonnet. Yes.
Jeremy Bonnet. There we go. God, thanks, Craig. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Yep. And that car is gangster. I mean, so freaking cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So freaking cool.
It's so great, dude. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. But for folks that don't know, the combo in the Blasphemi right now, 528, right? Hemi?
Yeah. Gen 2 Chrysler Hemi with a Tremec T56 behind it. It's not stock. It's got Gearstar internals and built by Tick Performance. It's got Tick shifter, Tick's billet front plate, and gear oil pump, and
face plated.
Yeah, it's a bad bitch.
They're sweet. I've got face plates in my Malibu, and there ain't nothing like driving that shit on the street.
No, it's and it right now, car's extremely happy. I'm having fun with it. It won't 60 foot like it used to right now. When it had a diaphragm clutch in it, it would 60 foot like 125, 126. Like it was good. And ever since I changed the front end, we haven't found the 60 foot. But we'll get there eventually.
You will. Yeah, you will. If you guys don't know, he just switched it to independent front suspension like it would have come from the factory. Ditch the solid axle, put the IFS back on it, and it's still got the cool nose high stance. It's still got the all the gasser stuff, but now it actually has travel in independent front suspension, which
it drives
might not try to kill you driving on the road.
Well, that's the thing, is on the street is so much better. On the track, it's got arguably probably too much travel. When it goes down the track, it's probably higher up in the air in the nose than any of the gassers competing, which I would like to do something about it, because the last event, Sick at the Rock, it was going 160 in the quarter on some test passes, and that it's a little squirrely. Not like it was when it had the straight axle in, and Jesus, it was a handful. Like any bump in the track was pushing that car all over the place. It's
definitely high speed on the track better with the A arms as well. Yeah.
Right now, like it's the Aero is probably pretty crappy, but because it has, that front end has almost 9 inches of travel now. Wow. So it would be great if it was a no prep deal. It probably would be pretty successful.
It would kill in that.
It doesn't need that much travel for what we're doing now, but I'm straddling the line of, like, I want the nose high stance. I don't want anyone to question the car. And so I've left it alone going down the track like this. Because I want it to look, even though it's got A arms, I want it to look right.
Yep. And it's, my buddy Steve says it's all custom parts, right? It's all none of it's OE.
No, it's all one-off hand-built stuff that like there was never an OE front end that had that much travel or was that wide. Like the control arms are stupid wide. When I had the axle front end, the tires were all sucked in and it looked weird, and so we extended it. It's versus the old axle front end, it's 3 inches wider compared to that.
Okay. All right.
So the wheels and tires,
the total wheel and tire track width.
Yeah. It's the tires are pretty much flush with the front end of the car, which they'll never hit it because it's so high up. But I just like the way it looks. But it's all one-off stuff. Like they could probably build you one for your car, but they need your car there because it isn't a kit.
Right. They couldn't just dump the thing in.
No.
You need to bring it to them. But if you figure out the 60 foot does that make it the ultimate car?
I mean, for me, like it's not everybody's cup of tea for sure. Like I don't recommend doing any of this really. Like
idiots.
A Hemi.
We're all idiots.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But like the Hemi is the wrong engine to use. Like you could make more power with a big block Chevy for sure. And if it breaks, you can find parts for it. Right now, like if I break this thing, like there isn't any parts for it. And
the stick's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, don't do it with a stick. Especially, with the stick, you kind of push yourself in the direction of using a slipper clutch if you're really trying to go fast.
Right.
And the slipper clutch with the trailer is another thing you got to take into consideration.
A whole different thing. If you guys don't know, especially a T56, 2 overdrives in that transmission. So a slipper clutch works off of both base pressure and then centrifugal pressure. So 6 gear in that in my transmission is 0.5. I think the tallest you can get is a 0.68, but even still, you can't lug the engine. It is the idea with a slipper clutch. If you try to lug the engine like you would with a normal diaphragm clutch, it will slip the clutch, it'll glaze it, and then you're screwed. You're sitting on the side of the road trying to figure out your clutch. So you have to.
I found out the hard way.
There's a couple of dudes I know that don't change their clutches with adjustable style clutches, but they have like little light Fox bodies and they don't tow trailers. Once you add a trailer, once you add some weight, you have to do adjustments to your clutch to make it get down the street, or else like you said, you're gonna wreck your junk. So there's a whole other level of tuning that's involved in your switchover now.
Yeah, and there's 6 different things you can adjust on the clutch and the ECU to go down the racetrack. And so trying to figure out which one do I do this time? The car's doing this, the car's slipping too much, the car's not slipping enough. Right. And like you said, the trailer is a huge factor. Like our trailer now, like it's big. Everything we want to bring to a drag and drive event is in that trailer. And so when we scaled it, when we got home, I was like, we're not bringing all this stuff the next time. The whole trailer was nearly 2,000 pounds. And it's
wow.
Yeah, it was 1,900 and some odd pounds. And I was like, okay, we're not bringing all this crap again. Because we couldn't use 6 gear on the highway. You'd have to drive 95 miles an hour for the clutch not to slip. Right. Because if you did 70 miles an hour, you were at 1,800 RPM with the trailer behind it and the clutch just slipped. And so we figured that out. And so the second time we towed the trailer, we were doing it in 5th gear, not 6. Which helps a lot. But even in 5th gear, because it's double overdrive, if you're in 5th gear and you're towing the trailer and you come up to a hill and you just start rolling into the throttle, the clutch will slip.
It'll slip it, right?
Even with the base pressure turned all the way up. So, we're learning all about this as we go. And I've had moments where I've been like, Jesus, I could have just left the G-Force 5-speed in there because we're not even drag and driving with 6 gears anymore. Right. But then I have a day where I'm at home and I don't have that trailer hooked to it, and 6 gear is just nirvana because the car is so damn loud that 6 gear with headphones on, it's not that loud. And so around town, I absolutely love it. 6 gear.
No, it's great. And then you don't need to faceplate 5th and 6th. Typically you keep synchros in those. And then with the roots blower, it makes torque everywhere. So that's my car used to be the same set. It's smaller stuff, way less power than you make. But a roots blower that makes big block torque, you can put it in 5th, and you can drive all over town, 35 miles an hour in 5th gear with a 410 or 456 gear. Yeah, easy peasy, no problem at all. And then you're not driving through the faceplates all day long. But then again, I like driving the faceplates. Everyone thinks I don't know how to drive. It makes crazy noises. If you've never seen inside of a faceplated trans, all the synchros are gone, and there's big lugs that are ramped that engage the gears. So when they engage, and it tells you, Kong, it's a big noise. And people will tell me a lot, like, man, I don't think that you know how to drive your car. And I'm like, yep.
Yeah, but then you just double clutch real quick and it goes in like butter, and then they're like, oh,
exactly. Oh, wait, you got this down. Yeah, it's all good. It's Stevie says it's all about the clank. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows
the noises that you described. I rarely hear them because my Bel Air is so damn loud that we wear rugged radio headsets in them. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're going deaf. Like the side pipes, the side pipes end right in front of the back tire, which is right behind your head. And it's just like you gotta shut the car off in the McDonald's drive-thru. You're never.
Oh yeah, no, there ain't no way. You're gonna get the wrong food. You're gonna get food that somebody spit in, and that's not gonna be fun.
No, not so much.
Boats.
There's a boat right there.
What got you into boats, and is the Sonny gonna get into a car? Is that what's happening?
I tried to put that in a car. It don't fit in much.
Okay.
I dangled it under the hood of my C2 Corvette. Well, not under it, but I put it in the engine compartment, and that was going to be my next drag and drive car because I'd like to go quicker. But then I sat in a couple C2 Corvettes that have funny car cages in them, and I was like, well, I can't crash this. It's going to kill me. There's no room in there for
right.
I'm 6'1". I don't fit in a C2 Corvette with a cage.
Yeah, see, I'm 5'8".
You're perfect.
I fit in everything, dude. Little guy.
You get some
every race car,
New Balances, and you're a Corvette guy.
You let me know, dude. We're in. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean that motor, it doesn't fit in a lot of things. So it's sitting on an engine stand. One day I'll do something with it.
And you still own Game Over, but your wife said no, can't. You don't own Game Over.
No, my dad before he passed away was like, that thing's gonna kill you. Get rid of it. And I was like, all right, well, my dad passed away. Sonny Leonard then passed away. I got all emotional about the motor, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm keeping the motor, but I sold the boat. And I was out of drag boat racing because I was like, all right, I've gotten it out of my system. It was fun, and we'd won a championship at it, and I was like, okay, but I'm cool with it. And then this thing behind me popped up for sale like less than a week after I sold Game Over, and I was like, oh my God, like this is like a unicorn behind me. It's an all carbon fiber jet boat that it's kind of rare and it's really fast. And I was like, it's a sign.
Yes, like, I gotta have it.
I got money burning a hole in my pocket right here.
That's right.
I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna spend that money. Just forget, like I even told you I sold the other boat, and
it's already gone. It's done. Yeah,
can't miss what you didn't have. Maybe it's gonna be all right.
So what's? I guess they're so different, but what do you prefer? Would you rather drag race jet boats, or would you rather drag race racing?
I have a better feel for when things are going to go wrong in the boat than I do the car. The car scares me differently, mainly because I haven't had enough scary moments in the car. So that part scares me. Like I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
And this is a really dumb thing to drive. And I'm acutely aware of that. And I've had enough moments where I know pretty well with my butt dyno when things are going good and when things are not going good. So I'm way more careful in this than I am in Blasphemi. Because Blasphemi, I feel like it's not going to hurt me. Not just because it has a roll cage. It's just I've driven it so many times that
you're in tune with it.
Yeah. When it's not going good, I just lift. It's not like I'm saving the world in that car. It's just just lift.
We're not curing cancer. We're just having fun.
We're not Katy Perry. We're not astronauts here.
No, we're not astronauts.
We're not.
Which feels faster?
Oh, the boat, 100%. The boat there's no windshield and no seatbelts, and so the helmet, we wear a helmet restraint that looks kind of like a Hans device, but it functions differently. It's solely there to keep the helmet from ripping off your head from the air, and so you tuck, and if you lift your chin up a little too much, it tries to pull the helmet up. Like it feels way faster. That thing behind me goes 135 on a good day. But it feels like you're being shot out of a cannon. It's awesome.
That's awesome. I've never seen it until I watched it on your channel or on Roadkill or on something. And it just fascinates me. Like you hold a rope, right? You don't do anything until like is that part of your ET, or is that like I'm ready and then you go in?
So here's how it works. So there's no brakes, right? There's no clutch. There's nothing to keep it still in the water. So at most rivers or lakes, they stretch a rope across from one shore to the other, and you all hold on to it. And you'll have 5 or 10 boats holding on to this, and you fire your boat up when the guy on the barge tells you to.
Okay.
And your boat's kind of twisting and moving around and won't sit still because you have no brakes.
Because the motor's doing stuff.
Yeah. And so you're sitting there just trying to keep the boat straight in the water. And meanwhile, there's a Christmas tree in front of you with a countdown clock.
Okay.
And it's, depending on where you're at, it's counting from 30 seconds or 20 seconds down to 0. And your goal is to pick a number, mash the gas, and hit the beams at 0. Well,
Okay.
the beams are 125 feet in front of you. So you're getting a running start at the beams.
Wow.
You can leave anytime you want, just don't go red, right? And so this clock counts down in half-second increments. And so in your mind, you're just going, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I usually leave when I see 5 kind of going out, just kind of fading. That's usually when I go. And when we hit the beams, we'll be going 60 miles an hour for the ETs even start adding up.
Okay.
So whenever, it's hard to compare boat ET versus car because the boats get a running start.
It's a roll race.
And we don't have traction. We don't have the friction of the tire and the rubber. So the G's are not comparable. And so I always tell people, I'm like, cutting a good light is like hitting 100-mile-an-hour fastball from a big league pitcher. It is hard because as you're sitting on the rope, if the wind's blowing the boat back, you got to account for that, and if somebody's shaking the rope, you got to account for that. And Adam's face froze up because his internet is on the fritz.
Oh, we're back. Hey, it's okay. It's fine. We're good. It's a pedal powered internet. We got cables.
I went and got a beer while you were gone.
Oh, perfect. Hell yeah, me too. Perfect.
So anyway, yeah, cutting an O light is very, very difficult.
Oh yeah.
And they have similar classes of drag racing. They have heads up stuff, bracket stuff, and it's just really fun, because there's water and boats and bikinis, and like the great thing about this is when you're not at a race, you can take it to a river or a lake and just hang out and street race people on the water.
It's awesome.
My wife and I, before we moved back to Georgia, we had a little travel trailer on the Colorado River at a campground. And all my friends who drag race their boats, once a month at the actual drags, we would all go camp out and then street race on the water. And it'd just be a big party, a bunch of people hanging out on a sandbar, and every now and again, 2 boats would just push off the sandbar, line up, and go.
That's
and it's
awesome.
It's so fun, dude. It's so fun.
That sounds great. That sounds like a really damn good time.
Yeah. Oh, it's really dumb, but a lot of fun. So
I'm in. I can't wait. Whenever you do it, I'll be a pit bitch. I'm a damn good pit bitch. I can't wait.
So sadly, there's not a lot of it out here. Like most of the racing happens in California, Arizona, Texas. There's a little bit in Oklahoma and Missouri. There's like one outlaw thing happening in June in Kentucky, or no, Tennessee, that I'm going to try to go to.
Okay.
But otherwise, the next time we use this, other than testing here at home, is, we'll have to head west to do it. It's hard to talk yourself into that sometimes because it's 12 to 15 hours worth of towing. There's only one class. Sometimes there's no test and tune. You go out in first round, that kind of blows, it's like, and there's no money if you win. Like you're losing even if you win. Like I think I went to the semis at World Finals and I won $300 once.
Huh. Okay.
So anybody that's doing this is doing this because it's a lot of fun.
It's like drag week. Like you're going to kick the dog shit out of yourself for a jacket. It's just, that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
What?
I'll sum it up for you. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to grab 2 awards. I'll sum it up for you.
Yeah,
this
is
how silly all of this is. Watch this.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right. So, we talked about this in 2018. I was fortunate enough to get second in A-Gas, right? And I got that plaque.
Right.
And that plaque, it means a lot to me. It's outstanding. I love it. In 2019, I won. And it's the same plaque, bro. It's not any bigger. It's not any shinier. They just slipped a different piece of cardboard in.
It's a different piece of cardboard, and that's the difference between winning and not.
Different memories, though. Better memories.
Hell yes.
So if you're at home thinking about doing this, totally do it. It's awesome.
What are you as well known in the boat community as you are in the car community? Like, do you show up over there and then you've got a line of people wanting to sign autographs and stuff, or are you more low key out there?
Nah, it's probably the same, but it's such a small sport that nobody cares.
Okay.
Like the people that I boat raced with 20 years ago are the same people I would see today, and there's no great promoters for drag boat racing. So when you show up to a boat race, if there's 100 people there, that's a big deal. It's a very, very small sport. Like most of the events will have 50 or 60 drag boats competing. It needs all the promotion it can get. It needs all the new people getting into it that it can get, because it's tiny.
Maybe that's your next move. Maybe you'll be a drag boat promoter.
Nah, I'd rather drive. Okay. I want somebody else to do it. Like I try to do my part, like we'll make YouTube videos about it. I'll tell people when I'm going racing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm the kind of guy to throw an event. I'd much rather race. Like I don't know how Tom Bailey does it.
Right. Because he throws an event and races.
Yeah. Well,
in his own event.
I give him a lot of credit, especially after sick week, because like as bummed as I was on day one where we only got one rip, that guy put himself out of competition and didn't go, I'm taking another run. It's my event.
Right. Like it's my event. Screw you. He bowed out and bought himself a $7,500. Well, it was like a $5,000 third gen Camaro and started competing with Cletus.
Yeah. Like for me personally, like he's already my friend, but I was like, good job, dude. Cause you could have taken another run.
He totally could have. And no one who would tell him he couldn't.
Right. But he didn't do that.
And he didn't, and that was cool. That was, if you guys didn't know, he, he's got the 6 seconds 2.0 Pro Mod car, and he was looking to run a 5-second average during sick week, which has never happened ever. He's the only guy that's ever turned in a 5 in competition with that car out on a drag week, and he went out and switched lanes with it. It crossed the center line, so you're done. He wasn't going to get a 5-second average. So he said, we're done. That's it. Done. We're going to go buy a car. We're going to go compete with Cletus. Like you said, cool deal. For sure. But
I don't think I want to be put in that position. I'd rather just race and let somebody else make the money and all that stuff. I'd
make the money and get yelled at. There's a lot of getting yelled at as a promoter.
Yeah. Well, that's what making the money means.
That's right. That's right. We are getting we're like an hour and 10 minutes into this already, which is crazy. This just moves like nuts, especially for me, because I'm like, damn, this is awesome. I get to hang out with Mr. Mike Finnegan, dude. This is great. I do have a handful of questions that I'm going to ask. These are kind of my standard podcast questions, so I'm going to get those going. If you are watching live, throw those questions up. If you're not watching live, thank you so much for tuning in after the fact, and share this link around, because we're having a blast out here with pedal-powered internet in South Dakota. What is the largest thrash that you've been a part of?
It was 2017. We were going to go to Roadkill nights. We were going to race Blasphemi versus David Freiburger Super B.
Right.
We showed up a day early to test at Milan, and my car wouldn't start because it had a cylinder hydraulic, because it had a crack in the cylinder. And we ended up pulling the motor out of the car and assembling another Hemi on a picnic table using parts of my motor. Drove it to the event, milkshaking the oil, had to pull the heads off, put the heads back on, new head gaskets, reseal it. Tony Angelo hit me in the face with a jack handle on accident when he was trying to torque something. I remember I was concussed and I shouldn't have even driven the car, but I went to the starting line and raced in my car. That's probably the biggest thrash I've ever been a part of.
Hell yeah. And Freiburger Super B is famously known as the car that's too quick to be a street car, but too slow to be a race car.
Yeah, he's got really high standards. It's weird.
Yes. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. What I'm going to give you a heads up on this one to think about here for just a minute, but because I didn't get you beforehand, but Anyone's car or boat. Let's open it up to boats that you can that you could compete for one event in. Which one would it be, and which one would you like to own? They can't be the same car. Just chew on that for just a little bit. But
I would own Lutz's 57.
Okay.
I love big tire 57 Chevys. I would compete. I would compete in 6 1.0.
Okay.
Better looking car, and I would love to kick Tom's ass in 2.0, but in his own car 1.0.
But in his own 1.0 car.
Because it's a way better looking car. Like, no offense to pro mod owners everywhere, but your all cars are ugly.
Oh, they're ugly. UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. But his 1.0 car is awesome. It's a regular body looking 69 Camaro. It's all carbon. But it looks like a normal
yeah, like it's a
Camaro.
Front end's not pinched, it's not chopped, the quarters aren't raised past the window. Like, it's a better looking car.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, if I had a chance to drive one for one event, I'd drive 1.0. I'd like to experience it.
I dig it.
If I had to own the Evil Twin 57.
I dig it. Pat Cook, who has taken the Grom on Rocky Mountain Race Week and Race Week a couple of times, wants to know if you've ever raced a bike or if you're just doing dirt bikes for fun with the family.
No, I never raced them. I grew up watching Crusty Demons of Dirt videos.
Dude, I got to meet, of course, Travis Pastrana at a Cletus event. And I was like, dude, I grew up watching Crusty Demons of Dirt 3. Yeah. And he was like 13 years old in that, doing backflips and heel clicks and all kinds of crazy shit. And I was like, man, I have been drunk. I have been hungover. I have been leading to drunk, watching you for months and months and years and years and years. And he started singing the song that was playing in Crusty Demons of Dirt. Well, it was his little deal. So anyway.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that I never raced him. I liked going to Glamis. I liked free riding. I was not talented enough to go racing. Absolutely.
That will happen. Mike Narks wants to know Gumball Rally or Cannonball Run.
Are we talking movies or actual events?
Good question.
Either way, Cannonball Run. Cannonball Run is one of the best movies ever. When they park the NASCAR in the pool and oh my god, the dually that's just like, if you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly and right up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, Cannonball Run.
That reminds me of Big Willie, old David Williams, who's been on this show as well. Yeah, man. How in the hell did you get hooked up with old Big Willie? Because if you guys don't know, David Williams has done some transatlantic racing type stuff like Cannonball Run and stuff. But how'd you get hooked up with old David Williams?
I have a horrible memory. I met him and his dad probably at the same time at a drag and drive event. I think they had knocked the head gaskets out of their car and were in the same parking lot at the same drag strip I was in. And then he moved from Florida to Georgia, not too far from me. And so we just hung out off and on because he's nearby and is always down to like, he's always one of the most helpful people you ever met. Like, it's wild. He doesn't know you, but you need to drive to Mexico to get, a spindle for some, like he'll just go.
Like he's that guy. Yeah, exactly.
He loves driving more than any other person I've ever met in my entire life.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it was probably because of his dad, Robert, being into drag and drive stuff.
Robert's also been on this show. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Bourbon or beer?
Oh, it's situational. I don't know.
Okay.
I love bourbon. My next door neighbor, I didn't start drinking bourbon until I got to Georgia. And my next door neighbor is a Southern gentleman who was in the golf industry forever. Okay. And I'm not much of a golfer, but I like the driving the carts and the drinking part of it and teeing off. And he, before I moved here, I just drank beer. And he's like, "If you ever drink bourbon?" And I'm like, no. And we went and did the Bourbon Trail through Kentucky together with my brother and my
Hell
dad.
yes.
And he just started pouring me bourbon and ginger ale. And I was like, this is tasty.
Yes, sir.
Like,
Yes,
bourbon
sir.
by itself, you know, if you're sitting around having a bourbon, that's fine. But like, you know, I'm not gonna have 4 of them. But I'll drink 4 bourbon and ginger ales, and
Right.
you know, that'll tune me up just fine, as you saw.
I mean, just perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, just perfect.
But yeah, most days it's just beer, you know.
All right. Attaboy. One of the other questions for me, what's your favorite racetrack?
Oh, I don't know. I always seem to be fixing something, and I don't actually get to experience much of the vibe of the track.
Right.
I have moments at certain tracks, like MIR. I don't remember anything about that truck other than having to rebuild my transmission in the pits. But I've watched enough World Cup on the interwebs for me to go, one day I want to race World Cup at MIR, because that track, the whole venue just looks outstanding.
Totally.
But like, you know, I got my license at Atlanta Dragway and Commerce, so I liked that place. It's gone. I've raced at Paradise and 8th Mile Track in here in Georgia once, and I just love the vibe of that place. I love the family. You know, there's just Bristol is amazing, although it's uphill. Even if they tell you it's not, it's uphill. I was there once. I don't know what we were doing, but Freiburger and I were there, and they were painting new sponsors' names on the walls. And I was standing there, and I'm looking at the track. I'm like, this bitch goes uphill. And one of the guys there is like, no, it's not. And I'm like, whatever. I grab a roll of tape and I set it on the starting line. It rolled all the way back to the burnout box. I'm like, this bitch is uphill.
It's totally uphill.
It's totally uphill. But I love driving there because it just looks cool, you know, because you're kind of in a valley. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. I just have moments at all these different ones. And
yeah, totally.
Any new one I can go to, I'm into it.
I dig on that. Too Tall's Model Car Garage wants to know Motorhome 440 or 2J.
Oh, it's hard, right? Because if I'm off road in the dirt, the 2J is a lot of fun. If I'm on road, probably the 440. You know, the 2J makes better noises in my opinion, and it's just indestructible. Like I have a 2J and a 68 Charger, and it does not care how much
that's
mud
the death metal Charger, right?
Yeah. It's a crappy rusty car, but that 2J does not care how much water it ingests while it's on the rev limiter. Like it does, and it makes glorious noises when it's on the rev limiter.
Do you have a favorite car you picked up from Motor Trend?
Yeah, the Rotsun, the 71 240Z. Absolutely.
Okay.
Closely followed by the Vet Cart. The Vet Cart is really, really fun to drive, but the Ratson makes all the right noises, and I love a 240Z. They just look cool to me. So
is it gonna stay small block forward?
So at the beginning of the trip, I would have said no, because I have that truck. That car originally had a 4.3 V6, a stock one from a Chevy S10. I have all the parts to put together a Busch Grand National Series V6 motor, all aluminum one. And it's never been assembled, and I never had a project car for it. But when I bought the Ratson, I'm like, as soon as I get it home, we're gonna put that motor together and put it in there and take it back to the way it was when Roadkill first put it together. But I got to be honest, like that Ford went so good all the way home that I'm like, why am I gonna rip this thing apart when I got a Cadillac that needs building and a jet boat that doesn't run right, and you know all this other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe one day it will change, but for now, the Ford will stay in it.
Well, and you've got that dumb twin turbo minivan too. You could put all that aluminum V6 in that.
And you know what? When I first bought that thing, I absolutely would have done that, but I didn't know what I was buying. And you might find this hard to believe, but that thing got built in 4 days on Faster with Finnegan, the Motor Trend show. Never once did I crawl under it. I had no idea how rusty that thing was. The outside of it's beautiful. The interior is gorgeous. I didn't know the rockers were gone off the thing. Like, and so when after I made the purchase, all these cars were in California when I bought them, and I hadn't seen them in a long time, and they all got shipped here, and Newbern was there the day we picked it up, and he's like, "You know this thing's all rusty, right?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Look under the door."
This thing's like, junk, dude. Right?
It's junk. I didn't know that, and so now I'm kind of like, I still love it, but I don't know that I'd put that motor in that thing because
maybe take all that drivetrain and junk and put it in an S10 and just
an all-wheel drive S10 would be cool. But the only reason that van's cool is because it shouldn't go fast.
Right.
Let's be clear, it doesn't. But I love the only reason we built it was to hide the turbos under the hatch.
Under the hatch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even turn while it's idling. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another dumb thing, but
who do you kind of respect in the space? Like who did you respect at the Motor Trend kind of world, and who are you hanging out with, and are you liking in the YouTube world?
Oh, anybody that's doing it better than me, absolutely. I don't watch a lot of anything for a couple of reasons. I don't want to copy anybody,
right?
And then time, just pure time.
Right.
I spend so much time watching edits, editing, uploading that when I'm done, the last thing I want to do is stare at my computer.
Right.
And so I don't watch a lot of stuff. The people I really look up to are fabricators. A lot of fabricators. Like on Instagram, I follow a bunch of people who are just killer welders, killer fabricators. I really like people that, and this isn't a knock against anyone else, but I really like people who build the car, drive the car, tune the car. Like Eric Yost impresses the hell out of me.
Alex Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that girl can do every single piece of that type of stuff. Yeah. Eric Yost, Biggin is that dude.
Well, and Alex's dad just blows my mind constantly. Right. Like he'll post something, he'll be like, I wanted an oil pan and I wanted it to be skirted and I wanted to brace the block, and so I just made it.
And so no one sold that, so I spent an afternoon and made it, and here it is, and it's art and it's perfect, and yeah.
Deb upholstered my door panels, and I just made this whole thing tilt and like
and you have a front end of his that they made a spare that you put on your car, like and that's stuff that like Deb makes, like Deb did that. That's
well, and I think Deb probably did the lamination on it, like that whole family. And Alex's future husband Nick. I mean, Jesus, that dude's talented. Like that whole. If you live near them, you are so lucky because there's so much.
If you're in that Alabama, wherever the hell they live in Alabama,
Arkansas,
Arkansas. Yeah, if you live anywhere near where you can get literally anything done to literally anything because they can make every piece of it. They're amazing.
Yeah. They build transmissions and motors and paint and upholstery and chassis. Like it's remarkable.
And I mean, how convenient for her to marry a guy with her same last name. She doesn't have to change her name. It's good.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they don't have to change anything.
Yeah, it's the Nick Taylor, Alex Taylor show. So it's all good.
Wow, that worked out really well.
I'm going to let you go here pretty soon. I got my one last question, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in and checking this all out. And I want to thank you for staying up late. I know it's 10:30 out there right now, and that's
I was in California all last week, so my body clock's already screwed up. So I wasn't going to be asleep right now anyway.
Well, attaboy. Well, I appreciate you carving time out anyway, because you could be working on your broken ass boat or your broken ass Cadillac or whatever you've got going on. So
my wife's CRX not broken.
That's right. Oh, dude, the CRX. So I have a 91 Civic 4-wheel drive station wagon.
Oh, those are cool.
That I just picked up. And Stevie, my wife, has been daily driving that thing for the last, 2 weeks, and she fell in love with it. It's a dorky ass little stupid red Honda, but it's.
I had a friend that had one in college. They were great, especially for where you live. This winter is going to be out
there. The all-wheel drive, man. It's the jam. It's the absolute jam. Yeah. My last question for you. What advice do you have for a newbie? somebody getting into YouTube, somebody getting into cars, somebody getting into fabricating, somebody getting into, but whatever, use whatever rubric you'd like. But what advice do you have for a newbie?
Oh, it's easy. Close your mouth, open your ears, go sweep shop somewhere, anywhere. You don't know it all. Every day of my life, I'm learning. When I do watch, it's not even television anymore, whatever you want to call it, but I watch a lot of videos of people that are better than I am at what I'm doing, either to get better at the YouTube thing or to get better at welding or fabricating or whatever it is. There's so much good info out there as long as you can just keep yourself humble and be willing to listen to somebody, and just do it. Don't wait. Life is short. There's no reason not to start your own YouTube channel or build a car or go on a drag and drive or, whatever,
That's such good advice. And that's, I've been doing this thing for 2 years. I'm finally just now monetized. I might make $8 off of something like this, but I don't care. I've done 74 of these. I've hung out with a ton of my buddies. I've learned a lot about a lot of people. And I've made memories, and that's exactly it. Like I'm hanging out with my homies. A lot of times it's off season. Right now we're kind of getting into the middle of the season, but getting to spend an hour and a half with people that of all these different walks has been a really, really cool deal. It's been really fun.
And I don't know if anyone's told you this or not, but what you're doing is creating a library, a record that later on someone's going to reference some of these things because Rich Guido is going to drop some nugget of wisdom about driving a stick car, and who better than that dude to listen to?
No like one, that dude's the guy.
Yeah, like the Clutch Birders podcast is outstanding.
You've been on that podcast. I've been on that podcast.
Yeah, great. All of these things, this is the new forums. This is the new magazines. This is where the information is. And so it might not make money today, but someday it will. And even if it doesn't, the service you're doing people, they'll thank you someday.
Absolutely.
They will.
Absolutely. And I love doing it. And I appreciate you doing it with us. And you're the man, dude. This has been a damn good time.
Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let me know. We'll do it again. I'm down.
I can't wait. I'd love to do it. Before we leave, dude, congratulations on 1 million YouTube subscribers.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on getting the Ratson back to Georgia, your favorite car that you bought from Motor Trend. And dude, everything else, like congrats on being your own boss and being able to raise your family and kind of on your terms. I think that's going to be an awesome deal for you, short term, long term, and everything. I'm here for it.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I'm very, very lucky. I'm very, very happy. Dude. So,
well, sweet. I'm going to throw you in the background real quick. I'll say goodbye to these people, and I'll have you on at some point later in the future.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much. Holy cow! You guys, I had Mike Finnegan on my show. I can't believe it. It's going to be awesome. What an awesome, absolutely awesome time. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Over 100 of you out here with the pedal-powered internet and everything watching Mike Finnegan. Appreciate everybody for checking it out. Like I said, if you're new here, go look at some of the old episodes. Tons and tons of cool episodes that are out there. Kind of, lowest level guy to the highest level guy are out there. Share this link around because this is going to be available anytime from here forward. And this is also going to be on the podcast as well in the future. So thank you guys so much for checking it out. Episode 74 with Mike Finnegan, guys, on the 29th. We are done. I'll see you guys next weekend. Peace out.